Hi, hello, and Assalamu alaikum, students. How are you all? I hope you all are fine and fit staying at home. Yes, students, today we shall proceed with the next topic, the past tense. Students, in our last video, we had discussed all the 12 tense forms. Let's recall present tense, that is the simple present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect, and present perfect continuous tense. And today we shall explore what is the past tense. Are you ready, students? Yes, without much ado, let's get started. So in past tense, let's start with the first subdivision, simple past tense. So what is a simple past tense? So the action that started and ended in the past is called past tense. The repeated actions in the past, also known as simple past tense. Let's consider this chart. We have got past, present and future. The action which had taken place in the past is called the simple past tense. Example, he walked to school yesterday. So here, he is a subject, walked is a verb, to school, object. So walked represents walk plus ed, that is past tense. Again, let's consider another example for past tense. So, the repeated actions which has taken in the past is also called as past tense, isn't it? So, the example here is, he walked to school every day when he was young. So, repeatedly from his childhood, he had been walking to school. So, again the tense is past tense, walked. Now, let's consider this chart of be verbs, otherwise called as auxiliary verbs. Be verbs. So in present tense we'll be using is, am, are, and for past tense we use was and were. Was is used for singular noun and were is used for plural. Now adding ed for these following words. Wait is nothing but waited. Walk is nothing but walked. Stay is nothing but stayed. And arrive is nothing but arrived. When we add ed to the verbs, it is considered as the past tense. So what if for the words which ends with e? Let's see. If the verbs ends with e, like arrive, save, type, notice, we have to add just d. That is arrived, saved, typed, noticed. And what will happen to the verbs which ends with y? Example, reply, cry, study, try. Just remove y and add ied. Yes, children, you are correct. Replied, cried. Come on, children, try for the next two. Yes, you are right. Studied and yes, tried. So replied, cried, studied and tried. Let's see what happens for the irregular verbs. For example, put. So what will be the answer for put? Yes, it is put and not putted. You should not use ed. For sit, the past verb is sat. For go, yes, you are right, went. And for do, yes, of course, again you are right, it's did. Now, let's see the rules and formation for simple past tense affirmative sentence. What is affirmative? A sentence which is positive is called affirmative sentence. So here we go with the rule. Subject plus verb, which is in past, plus object. Example, we is subject, ate is past form of eat. Some lovely pizzas last night is object. Next, we shall proceed with the how to conjugate the simple past tense affirmative sentence. Here we go. So, I, you, he or she, we, they are the subjects. So, for I, we've been using the verb wash, which is in past tense, so washed. I washed the car. The car is the object here. You washed the car. He or she washed the car. We washed the car. And finally, they washed the car. So for everything, we'll be using ed. And how do we form the past simple negative sentence? For that, we have got the rule subject plus did plus not and plus verb and object. So for negative means there should be some negative verbs, that is not, never, like that. So here Jim is subject, did not finish is the past negative verb. His homework is object. So children, you should not use washed or finished when you write for negative. I did not wash the car is wrong. The exact answer is I did not wash the car. Remove ed for these kind of negative past tense. You did not wash the car. He or she did not wash the car. Next, we did not wash the car. And the last one is they did not wash the car. So, using verb plus ed is absolutely wrong here. Let's contract the negative form. So, do you know what is meant by contract? That is, did plus not is nothing but didn't. So, let's try. I didn't wash the car. Yes, of course, you are right, children. Let's move on to the next. You try by yourself. You, yes, didn't wash the car. Moving to the next one. He or she. That is, he didn't wash the car and she didn't wash the car. So I'm not using wash plus ed. It's wrong. Just wash because did is already is there. So we didn't wash the car. And the final one is they didn't wash the car. I hope the explanation is pretty clear for you. Okay, children, so we have completed affirmative and we have completed negative also. Now we shall proceed with the how to form the simple past interrogative sentence. For interrogative, that is, if you want to make a question, you have to bring the auxiliary verbs in front. Here, did is the auxiliary verbs for past tense. So I have brought it in front. Did plus subject plus verb plus object. So did you is subject, listen is verb. Did you listen to music last night? So the complete to music last night is object. So it is an interrogative sentence. Again, what you have to do when you conjugate the past simple interrogative? Yes, bring the auxiliary verbs in front. So here the simple past auxiliary verb is did. If you bring all the dids in the front, you will obviously get the question type sentence, that is interrogative sentence. So let's proceed with the first example. Did I wash the car? Did you wash the car? Did he wash the car? Or did she wash the car? Next one. Did we wash the car? And the last one. Did they wash the car? Again, you should not use ed here, children, because you are using did already. So I hope you are clear with this. Let's test ourselves with the following exercise. The day before yesterday, I go to see a great movie with Jenny. Now you have to find what is the past form of verb for go. Children, do you have any idea? Yes, children, the answer is went. For go, the past form of verb is went. Okay? Moving to the next question. To test yourself, at the age of 8, he dash live Hong Kong and dash returned to the United States. Both the verbs you have to change to past tense. So here we go with the answer. So the past form of verb for leave is left, and for return we have to use ed. Okay? So the answer is returned. Hey, you are right. Okay, children. Now let's recall actions that started and ended in the past and the repeated actions which are taken in the past is called the past tense. I hope you are clear with this definition, and let's recall with the formation, that is rule. Subject plus verb which is in past tense plus object is the formation for simple past tense. Yes, we did it. Okay, children, let's proceed with the past continuous tense. Past continuous is an action that is going on at some time in the past. Understood? So the action must be continuing in the past. So let's have an example for affirmative sentence. Let's have subject plus was or were plus present participle, that is something verb plus ing plus object. So Andy is subject, Andy is singular, so was, we should not use were. Andy was. Cook is verb, cooking, that is present participle. Andy was cooking dinner. So here was cooking is the past continuous tense. Let's conjugate the past continuous affirmative sentence. So let's consider the first sentence. So I is singular. So I was eating the apple. You were eating the apple. Next one, he or she was apple, that is third person singular here. Next one, we were eating the apple. We is plural here, so we are using were, and they were eating the apple. Again, there is a plural. We get they were eating the apple. So now let's consider how to form the negative sentence for past continuous. Yes, the first one is subject plus was or were plus not. If you use not, then this sentence is considered as negative sentence. So not plus present participle plus object. So example, they were not enjoying the meeting. So they is subject. So for they we be using were, not enjoying the meeting is the answer. So that is past continuous. Let's conjugate the past continuous negative sentence. So what we have to use for past tense? Yes, you are right. We have to use not in each sentence to make the sentence negative. I was not eating the apple. You were not eating the apple. He was not eating the apple, or she was not eating the apple. The next one is we were not eating the apple. And the last one is they were not eating the apple. Understood, children? So this is how we have to frame the negative tenses. So what is the next thing? Obviously, we contract the negative form of be verbs. So let's see how it comes. So was plus not will contract like wasn't. So here the answer is wasn't. I wasn't eating the apple. And the next contraction for were plus not is weren't. You weren't eating the apple. And for the next one, he was plus not wasn't again, or she was plus not wasn't. He wasn't eating the apple. She wasn't eating the apple. That's it. Let's move to the next one. We were plus not is weren't. We weren't eating the apple. And the last one is they were not. Eating the apple will contract to weren't. They weren't eating the apple. Understood, children? Hope it is pretty clear for you. And let's move on to the interrogative type. How to form the interrogative sentences. So what is interrogative? Question mark. Yes. So what we have to do is bring all the auxiliary verb in the front. Here the auxiliary verb was where should be taken to front. Only then you will get the sentence formation. So where plus subject plus present participle plus object. Were you reading a book? Okay, which means so were you reading the book in the past? Okay, this action takes place in the past. Next, moving on to conjugating the past continuous interrogative. Let's see with the clear tabular column. Was I eating the apple? Were you eating the apple? The third one is was he eating the apple or was she eating the apple? And the next one is were we eating the apple? And the last one is were they eating the apple? I hope it's clear for you. Now let's move on to the past perfect tense. So which is nothing but it expresses one of the two past actions which had completed earlier. Let's see how the formation of the past perfect tense is. Let's consider with affirmative sentence. The rule is subject plus had plus past participle plus object. Here past participle will end with ed. So he had placed the light bulb. So had placed is the past perfect tense verb. Next, conjugate the past perfect tense affirmative sentence. Yes, let's consider this tabular column. I had eaten. Here had is the past form of auxiliary verb used for only perfect. So I had eaten the cake. Here eaten is nothing but the past participle. So next, you had eaten the cake. He or she had eaten the cake. We had eaten the cake and they had eaten the cake. Okay children, now let's move on to the negative sentence. I hope it's easy for you. How to make negative? Yes, obviously you're right. You have to add not. So subject plus had plus not plus past participle plus object. Let's consider the example which is given below. Andy had not bought a new umbrella, which means he had not bought any new umbrella. Okay, so this is an example for past perfect. Now let's consider the tabular column. I had, what will come in between? Not. Yes, I had not been before, which means I have not come there before. I have not gone there before. You had not been before. Next one, he had not been before. She had not been before. And next one, we had not been before. And the next one is they had not been before. So be is a basic verb, auxiliary verb, and been is the past participle of it. And now let's contract the negative forms. How to do it? Yes, had plus not will contract together to form hadn't. I hadn't been before. The next one, you hadn't been before. Yes. Next, you just give a try by yourself, students. He hadn't been before. Yes. For she? Yes, she hadn't been before. Next, try we. We hadn't been before. Yes. And the last one is they Yes, you are right. They hadn't been before. Let's move on to the interrogative. What will come for interrogative? The auxiliary verb here is had, that you have to bring it in the front. So had plus subject plus past participle plus object. So had they organized a party? Organize is the basic form of verb. Organized is past participle. So had they organized a party? The next one we are going to deal with is interrogative. The formation of interrogative, how to form? Yes, bring all the auxiliary verbs had in front to make the sentence in question type, that is interrogative type. Now all the sentence will become question. Understood, children? Yes. So how the sentence will form now? Had I eaten the cake? Had you eaten the cake? Had he eaten the cake? Or had she eaten the cake? The next one is had we eaten the cake? And the last one is had they eaten the cake? This is how you have to form all the past perfect interrogative sentences. Yes, I hope you have understood this better. Let's move on to the last form, that is past perfect continuous tense. It is nothing but an action which began and had been on progress, still continuing before another action started. Let's see the affirmative formation. So it is nothing but subject plus had plus been. It is very important, you have to add been plus present participle, that is verb plus ing plus object. This is the formation of the past perfect continuous. Example is James had been baking the cake. So James had been baking a cake. Okay children, did you understand how it forms? Now let's move on to form the conjugating process. How to conjugate the past perfect continuous affirmative sentence? Let's see. So the first sentence goes like this: I had been swimming. The next one is you had been swimming. The next one is he had been swimming or she had been swimming. And the next one, we had been swimming. Been is very compulsory for continuous. And the last one is they had been swimming. So this is how you have to form the past perfect continuous tense. Let's move on to the negative sentence. So very easy, pretty easy. What to do? You have to add not after had. That is, after every auxiliary verb you have to add not. Only then you'll be getting the negative sentence. So subject plus had plus not plus been plus present participle, that is verb plus ing plus object, is the formation of past perfect continuous negative sentence. So Liam hadn't been running the race for long, but he was very tired. So this is the formation and an example for past perfect continuous tense. Now let's look into the tabular column for the negative sentence. So as I had already told you, not is added after the auxiliary verb had. I had not been swimming. The next one is you had not been swimming. Next one, she had not been swimming. And the very next one, we. For we had not been swimming. And for the last one, they had not been swimming. What will be the next one? Yes, contradiction. So how to contract? Had plus not. Yes, so making negative formation is very simple. Let's see again with some examples. So how to contract had plus not? Hadn't. Yes, you are absolutely right. I hadn't been swimming is the correct answer. And for the next one, you had not been swimming. So which will become hadn't. You hadn't been swimming. Yes, you are right, children. The next one, he or she hadn't been swimming is the answer. And the next one, yes, I'll give you some time. You check by yourself. Yes, what is the answer, children? We hadn't been swimming is the correct answer. And the last one, let's give a try together. They had hadn't been swimming is the correct. Yes, we did it. So finally they hadn't been swimming is a correct answer. Now let's move on to the interrogative type. Again, I tell you what is the interrogative. Bring the auxiliary verb had here in front to make the sentence question type. So had plus subject plus been plus present participle plus object is the formation for you. Better children, please make a note of it. How long had the policeman been chasing? Is this a correct formation for a question? Yes, children, this is the correct answer. So, been chasing, had been chasing. So, you have to bring had in the front. How long had the policeman? So, it is the correct formation of a question. So, now let's see with the tabular column with so many examples. I. So, the first one is I. Yes, so what you have to bring all the auxiliaries in the front. Bring all the auxiliaries in the front and form question types. Yes, you had I been swimming. Now let's try the next one. Had you been swimming? Yes. What is the next one? Had he been swimming or had she been swimming? Yes, children, try the next one. Had we been swimming? And had they been swimming is the correct answer. Okay, children, that's all for today. So here is your assignment. Complete your assignment and send it to my WhatsApp number before 6 p.m. the very next day. Next week, inshallah, I'll catch you up with the future tense. Until then, stay home, stay safe, take care. Bye-bye. Assalamu alaikum.